I'm Barbara Liston from
Yes.
Reuters. You said earlier that one of the greatest challenges of this case was taking over an investigation that had been handled by another agency for so long.
Yes.
Are you saying that the Sanford Police Department messed up this case? Might it have
Absolutely
been
not.
different if you had handled it from the beginning?
Absolutely not. What I'm talking about is the burden that it put on us to come in after the fact. The way we work shootings in our jurisdiction is we work side by side with the police from the time of the shooting. That's not a criticism of anybody. It just made it more difficult for us than what we're used to. No, I think during the press conference I told you all that we believe the Sanford Police did everything that they could that night. Let me remind people again that when a citizen does a shooting and it's not in the commission of a felony, a full-blown felony, like they're being robbed, they're being raped, it's sort of an encounter that happens like this in a mutual territory. Those are a lot more difficult, and we have to look at those very carefully. Justifiable use of deadly force is a defense that we look at when police officers have to take a life or have to apply deadly force, when citizens have to do it, and when it happens inside their dwelling or inside the store that they own, or during the commission of a forcible felony, that is so much easier of a decision to make. When two people are on mutual ground, and make no mistake about it, Trayvon had every bit as much the right to be on the premises that they were on as did George Zimmerman. That goes to all the facts and circumstances behind the case. And that's why this case was unique in that sense, and that's why it was difficult.
Kathy Bellich with Channel 9 in
Hey,
Orlando.
Kathy.
Once you determined that you could not, well, once you found out that you could not determine who started that confrontation, why did you decide to go forward? Because isn't that a key point of a case like this?
I'll let Bernie answer that.
I think we have to go back to the beginning. Who was following who?
I'm sorry, Bernie.
Who was following who? I mean, isn't that what this case boils down to? That was our theory. Now, we respect the jury's verdict, but really what it boiled down to is a kid minding his own business being followed by a stranger. And so I would submit that that's when it started. I don't know if that answered your question or not. Well, that's not the theory, that's the facts. Jury obviously disagreed at some point, and you'll be able to hopefully inquire of them of what they thought. But when it boils down to is you got a 17-year-old kid who is minding his own business, wearing a hoodie, and gets accosted, gets followed by an individual who wants to be a cop.
I do want to mention one more thing. This case has never been about race, nor has it ever been about the right to bear arms, not in the sense of proving this as a criminal case. But Trayvon Martin was profiled. There is no doubt that he was profiled to be a criminal. And if race was one of the aspects in George Zimmerman's mind, then we believe that we put out the proof necessary to show that Zimmerman did profile Trayvon Martin. But the right to bear arms is a right in which we all believe. I especially believe in that right. What we want is responsible use when someone feels they have to use a gun to take a life. They have to be responsible in their use, and we believe that this case all along was about boundaries and that George Zimmerman exceeded those boundaries. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. Yes.
Still Rionda, just a quick question for you. You mentioned that you're disappointed in today's verdict. Can you talk a little bit? You guys put a lot of effort, a lot of time, grueling schedule, 17 months. Can you talk a little bit about that frustration that you might...
Well, let me make sure I say it clearly. I respect the jury's verdict. This is no criticism of the jury verdict. I believe wholeheartedly that we live in the greatest country in the world, so I accept it. But I am disappointed. I've been trying a lot of cases. I've tried 300-something cases, about 80-something murder cases. This is only my second murder case that I've lost. Am I disappointed? Yes, because I thought he was guilty. But what matters is what the jury said, and I accept it. I don't know if that answered your question.
Mr. De La Rionda,
Yes, sir.
could I get your impression of the 2005 expansion of the Florida's self-defense statutes? Does this make your job harder?
You know, self-defense has existed for a long time. And we've dealt with it in Jacksonville for a long time. We've tried a lot of self-defense cases. I personally have tried, 10, 15 self-defense cases. They're tough cases, but we accept them. So the law really hasn't changed that much. Stand your ground was a big thing, but really the law hasn't changed. And we believe in the right to bear arms and the right to self-defense. We felt in this case that it was not appropriate.
Hi, Yami Shalsunder with USA Today. John Guy talked about the fact that this was going to be a verdict that sent a message, and that it was going to be about what happens when a guy follows a young child and then shoots him. Could you tell me what you think about what this verdict means to the nation and what it says?
Yeah, I don't believe I ever said it was going to send a message. I mean, criminal cases are about defendants and victims. It's most instances like this one, a one-on-one confrontation. So it was a determination about what happened between those two individuals. I certainly didn't mean to characterize this as sending a message outside the courtroom.
One more question.
The prosecutor, Corey, this question is about Ben Kreidboss. Since testifying in that pretrial hearing about discovery evidence, we understand that he was terminated. Can you talk to us about why he was terminated from your office?
I believe that we have released a letter that details why he was terminated. And again, we want to keep the focus on what we promised 15 months ago, which was to get all of the facts of this case in front of a jury or in front of a judge if it had been a stand-your-ground hearing. And I believe that's what we've done. I believe the focus needs to be on how the system worked and how now everyone in this country, because of you all covering this case, can say that they know the facts that were allowed in front of the jury, and now they know and can make up their own minds about the guilt of George Zimmerman, and know that this jury gave it a lot of time and attention. I don't think anybody will tell you that they don't appreciate how much the jury did. One more thing that I did forget to mention earlier is when you asked about second-degree murder, remember that the definition of that is an act or a series of acts. And we believe that the series of acts of Mr. Zimmerman and what he did leading to Trayvon Martin's death were why we were able to file second-degree murder. And I'm sorry, Jackie, was that the last question? Again, we want to thank all of you. We want to thank all of the people who have sent prayers our way. We want to thank, again, the people of Seminole County for allowing us to come in here and try this case. God bless you, and we do ask for peace and for privacy to the extent that Trayvon Martin's family wants that privacy. Thank you.